Chelsea Corporate finds opportunities and closes deals, start to finish. By helping you to buy the right business, we save you time and money. We stand for a different client experience, one that's consistent and reliable. We manage the buying process in your interest. What do buyers think but never ask in meetings?
This was an interesting one, and this came out an awful lot actually when I was in my sell side position. Because post meeting, you'd always follow up with the CEO you'd had the meeting with or whoever, and you'd say, what did you think? What are your thoughts? And it was those little bits that you then get out of what the buyer's actually thinking, but actually not saying. A lot of it comes down to is, how much is this going to cost me? And if I don't buy this business, what else could I, if I didn't buy the business, what could I do with that £3 million, £4 million or £5 million with my own business? Will I achieve the same result, increasing marketing, sales, spending more on CapEx? So there's a balance. That's what they're trying to work out. The other question that used to come up a lot is they used to ask themselves, and what they'd be trying to do is trying to find out what other businesses have sold in that sector recently to try and get a parity in terms of what the business might be worth. Secondly, big think about risk. When it actually does it become attractive for that vendor to walk away? What resources do I need to add to that business? Is there any further investment the company also needs on top of where they are at the moment? So those questions aren't generally asked in a prospect meeting.
It also very much comes to the forefront of the buyer's mind whether or not they can work with the seller. The seller thinks very often that it's the content of what he says that's important, but it's actually the way they come across and their tonation and how trustworthy they are in a transaction that matters a lot more. Because very often we see transactions that make absolute sense, but buyers walk away from them on the basis that they feel that the seller may be hiding something or that they just can't work with that individual. A buyer looks at the transaction thinking, what am I going to be left with at the end of it? And it is down to you, the seller, to convince the buyer that you are trustworthy, you are going to be there throughout that process, and you will help them with properly handing the business over to them.
Yeah. The only other thing I'd add is that, when you've had the prospect meetings, maybe you've had site meetings thereafter, and you're putting a deal together, once the deal's actually agreed, the owner of that business or the CEO, whoever it may be, actually isn't really that interested actually what happens during the due diligence process. He's got a corporate lawyer, he's got a HR person that's going to check all of the contracts, he's got a finance director that's going to check the numbers. He's really not worried. The most important thing that CEO is asking himself is, what happens the day after completion? Who's staying? Who's going? Is the business that I'm buying going to continue to do what it's been doing historically?
100%.
Speak with our buy-side experts today by calling +44 020 3011 1373. Chelsea Corporate. Changing the way you buy business.